Okay, now you've got your most definite purpose, your most definite goal. And you're going to take that on with all the desire and all the belief you can muster. You've got to believe you can do it. And if you don't believe it, the little voice saying, I'm not sure if you can do it, use your little voice techniques to overcome it. All the ones we've been talking about. Anchoring love and success. Doing all the things that you need to do to overcome it. Got to have the belief. Got to have the desire. How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough? I think that you do, or you wouldn't have made it to that point. You do it for yourself. You do it for your family. You do it for your community. Do it because it's a calling. Your calling in life to get it done. Whatever the case might be, you got to have the desire. So now that we've got it, we go to the next step. Step number 4. Now we're going to put a word up here. You're not going to like this word because you were taught not to like this word. You were taught not to like this word, and for good reason. But this is the key to establishing instilled discipline and truly becoming a winner in everything that you do. And the word is surrender. Now, just think about it a minute. Let me ask you a question. When I put this word up, surrender, what are the little voice thoughts that come to your head? Quitter, never give up, don't do it, I refuse this, all that stuff? I understand, because I was taught the same way. There's a time to never give up, but there is a time to surrender. If you don't have the discipline to lose the weight, to make the money, to have the relationships, to be the person you want to be in certain areas of your life, you need at this point, once you set that goal of whatever it is, you've got to surrender. Surrender to what? Surrender to a coach who you know can take you there, that's done it before. That's why I go to Mac Newton, because he's worked with the greatest athletes in the world. I know he can get my health there because he's done it 100 times. Surrender to a process, a personal development process, and a business development set of processes that have been proven over time to get you there. You know, if Mac tells me to do 250 push-ups and I say, well, you know, I'd rather just do 50 today. Are you kidding me? That will never work. When I learned to become a presenter and a teacher, my mentor at the time told me what to do. He said, you don't change anything. You do exactly what I tell you to do, much like a master and an apprentice. But most people are unwilling to surrender. They want to stick their toe in a little bit and try a little bit of it and see how they like it. That's not how you establish discipline. That's not how you build a habit of winning. You've got to be willing to surrender to the process. And as I'm talking to you, you got to ask yourself, what have you not surrendered to that you need to? Have you surrendered to your primary relationships? Have you surrendered to your business? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, and maybe that's why you're not operating on all cylinders and you haven't made it happen for yourself yet. You can do this. Just say, I am willing to surrender to the process, and then not to surrender once you're in the process, if that makes sense. Surrender to a system. Surrender yourself to an environment that you know is going to support you. Don't hang around people that are going to beat you up. Don't hang around with people that are envious of you if you're successful. Don't hang around with people that like to hear that you do bad because it makes them feel better about their poor, miserable lives. Don't do that. Surrender to the environment that's going to get you where you want to go. And surrender to the techniques. But most important, this is what I want you to surrender to. Your values. Your values. Remember I told you on the Mount Kilimanjaro, I learned somewhere below the snow line that there was something more important than a mountain. It was called love. Love of my family, love of my son. And thank goodness I had rules, my own rules, that I was willing to surrender to those rules to protect that value and protect the relationship with my son. That could have been a catastrophic mistake had I not had the values and the rules and surrendered to my own rules. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever set rules for yourself and broken them? Have you ever compromised your own values? Of course you have. But if you're going to build the discipline so that doesn't happen again, you've got to be willing to surrender. Now, once you do that, steps 5, 6, and 7 are almost automatic, and you're going to see how that works in a second.